Hello there, my mate Vince here, and in this video today we're going to try to fix up this beauty from the mid-1960s. It's a Bang Olufsen BEOMASTER 900K all transistor radio. It was advertised as the first transistor radio. Well, first mains fed transistor radio, and because it's transistor they could concentrate on the aesthetics more than a valve radio, so it can be a lot smaller and it doesn't have to have grills everywhere to allow the airflow to cool the valves down. As well as that, it's got things like the speakers are using the box itself, the case themselves, so apparently the speakers pump out more sound than the size of it would have you believe. So I think it was supposed to be quite cutting edge and quite highly regarded. Even now on eBay they seem to fetch quite easily £200 or £300. I bought it for £67. Unfortunately it did get damaged in transit, but I can't say anything because it was collection only. They did me a favour by posting it. Annoyingly they just did it with a bit of bubble wrap and a black bin bag, and as you can see it suffered the fate of the delivery driver because it's got a huge big dent in the corner here. It's either rose or teak. I think this one looks maybe more teak, but I'm not 100% sure. And back in the day it cost roughly 90 something pounds in the 1960s. I think it was at 90 something pound in 1970. So in today's money you're looking at nearly 2,000 UK pounds. So obviously this was something that only people with money would have been able to afford back in the 1960s. It's got numerous faults, so let me just turn it on and show you what I found. Okay, these are the faults I can see. Because of the courier, you can see that this speaker here is no longer flush. This one is nice and flush, the casing, and that one is not. Now, weirdly, it doesn't tune on FM at all. So if I was to go to like medium wave and do this, you can see that it moves here, yeah? Yeah? And if I go to long wave, it moves here. And if I go to K, I don't know if that's short wave or what that is, but that moves. Now on FM, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. And that must be a mechanical thing. So I would have thought that the same bit of string would have been used for all of them, but that's not the case. And also, listen to the hum. That hum is absolutely huge. So what is causing that hum? And it's not a tuning thing, it's across everything. So yeah, I think quite a lot to keep us busy. I hope I'll be able to find out what that hum is. That might be quite difficult. But let's bring it over to the mat and let's start taking it apart and see if anything becomes obvious. Right, this is going to be a real tough one to film because of the size of it. Anyway, I just watched a YouTube video and look at this. The FM tuner is different. It's this one down here. So this is off at the moment, but you can see this one here, long wave, medium and short wave is up here. But the FM one has its own little bar down here. So it probably is just a string, which is interesting, but that doesn't explain the hum. Also, yeah, it's a little bit damaged on this side here as well. I can just feel tiny little bits of wood flaking off. So there's a little bit just here that's flaking off here. It's had a bash there, and also I can see back up here as well. It's had a little bash as well, but nothing's major. This is the main bash that's gone on down here. You can see it now. It's been bashed up very well there, isn't it? Okay, now let's see what is going on. So I've got two screws here, let's undo them. I'm going to try not to scratch it up any more than it's been scratched up. And I presume it would have had probably nice rubber feet originally, or some kind of plastic, while it's just had these things stuck on it. Right, around the back here we have an option to plug in external aerial for AM, FM, and we've got tape, cassette, external one, record player plugged in so you can use the speakers from here. This is balanced left and right, and then we have an option to do your speakers here. Don't know what this is here because that's going to be stereo left and right. I'm not quite sure what that's about there. I don't know what EKS means. All transistor radio made in Denmark. Lovely thing, isn't it? Really, really nice. Right, okay. Now, in case you can't tell already, this is definitely not my field of expertise. I haven't got many fields of expertise. I've never worked on this model before. I've never owned it. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what could be causing a hum. I'm thinking maybe capacitors, but I don't actually know that. So now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen here? So that's undone there. Do I have to undo the stuff at the back? Let's have a look. Let's undo this one here. That's weird. Doesn't really seem to be biting. Well, that one does. Okay. Let me apply a little bit of pressure on this one. There we go, now it's biting. So when I see stuff like this, I don't know why, but I just think of Michael Caine, which is odd. You know, making his money from the Alfie film from 1960, whatever it was, and then buying one of these for his swanky London pad. Well, I can see little screws around the edge here, so let's pop those out. This reminds me as well of the big Grundig radio I did. Same kind of design, so maybe this design was popular for expensive radios of the 1960s. One question I've got is, what on earth is this here? I tried Googling it, and it just came up with, I think, a football cup. But this here, my troper. I thought it might be some kind of region that I hadn't heard of before. But yeah, Google didn't bring anything up there. So I don't know what my troper is. I'm not sure what's contained in these things either. Now, are you going to lift up? Wow, I can see some huge capacitor in there. I've got to be super careful in here now because I have had it on, so there might still be lots of voltage in here. Whoa, no way, oh my word. Right, hold on now, hold on. I'm going to drop on my fingers. Whoa, what on earth? Amazing. Wow, okay, hold on now. Is there any way I can undo that? Is that a connector there? Whoa! Oh, it's got one of these weird air capacitor type things. Just here, I'll show you in a minute. I think that there might be a connection. Where's the other speaker fed from? That's weird. Where on earth would that speaker be connected? How are the wires somehow hidden? Oh, I bet they're under that tape. There's tape going across here. Oh, that's so nice. They've chiseled it. Look at that. They've chiseled it in here. See that blue wire there? They've chiseled it across blue and white wire. Oh, so good. Right, let's see if that connector will come out. Please don't break. Yes. Oh, that is clean as clean could be. A lot of dust on that. Right, we are free of the casing. So, let me get rid of it. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought to come out, wasn't it? Tell you what, let's have a quick look at this plastic here before we get involved in here. Let's see if I can fix this thing here. So, does it just need to be whacked back into place? The whole thing looks bowed out. Can you see here? It's nice and flat, nice and flush. This is all bowed out. So how am I going to get that back in? Oh wow, they've got mesh here, they've got fabric. Can you see here? Fabric, it's all sealed. Interesting. Same with this side here as well. Right, so the fabric's broken here. Also, we've got this bit of metal flapping about. Let's take that bit of metal out. There's some weird insulation. Some weird like fiberglass here under that. Can you see in there? Right, I can see a big lump of metal just down in here. And the fabric's ripped. Let's see if I can get the metal out. So that's going to need some kind of cloth tape on it, isn't it? Right, we'll have to work out where that goes later. And I'll have to remember if I can get it working. to tape up this, because that's going to affect the sound, I think. Mind you, you're going to be able to breathe through this anyway, but yeah, we'll have to do that. Right, why are you not right here? Let's undo these two and see what it uncovers. Even that's been buried away here. But where would that go to? Would that be some aerial? UK W/FM. Oh, there must be an FM aerial built in across here or something. Here we go. I wonder, has this ever been opened? Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Okay. I hate this stuff. I'm going to put some gloves on because that stuff makes me really itchy. Oh, I can see the FM aerial goes up around here as well. It travels all the way up here and up here as well. Okay. Oh, I wonder, do I have to take this out here? Well, it'd be nice to see the speakers. I just despise this stuff. I spent a summer labouring and on a building site. Basically, one of my jobs is I had to move rolls and rolls of insulation on a red hot day from A to B, and I didn't understand. I was only like 17, I think. I didn't understand how itchy this stuff was, and I was carrying it and it was rubbing all over my neck and stuff, and I was itching alive because it was I was really sweating, because these were massive rolls, as in like I don't know 3 or 4 foot long or something by that big, something like that. And yeah, it was so itchy, so itchy. Ever since then, I think I can even smell it. I hate this stuff. Oh. So it's a 3.2 ohm speaker, Svenska, Stockholm, Sweden. I don't know what brand that is. Is that an F-I-N-U-F? Or S-I-N-U-S, maybe? Right, okay. Well, that doesn't actually help me. Or do I have to... Do you know what? I bet I have to undo these screws here in order to release the plastic grill at the front. And then hopefully I'll be able to get it lined up properly. Let's undo these screws. Okay, now. Yes, we're free. Excellent. So that's got netting on it as well to stop dust getting in there. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Where's the fourth one? Here. Fourth. Result. Right, there is our speaker. I'll be very gentle with it because it's probably quite fragile, but it's still intact. Yeah, okay. Right now, so why that hold on, that wood is completely flat against that, so it doesn't look bent now, but it was bent. Oh, it's come away here, look, you see it's actually come away here. It's a big gap down here, and there's not a big gap this side. Right, so can I just whack it down? Oh, I've got you. Look, can you see here? It comes along, it's all in a nice groove. Look in here. It's got a nice groove all the way along here, yeah, with some foam in it. In fact, there was a little bit of foam here. That foam, it's all perished now, that foam's gone in here. So I suppose because the foam's perished, there will be a bit of sound escaping, so maybe it's not going to sound as loud and boomy as it did when it was new. But look, there's a groove cut all the way along here, and this plywood needs to sit into that groove. So if we just clean out the bit of foam from here, I think it should go back into that groove. So it really was thrown around by the courier. I need to whack that in, and when I whack that in, that should go down there. But weirdly, unless it's been kind of crushed, it's like I can't even get this out. I'm going to try to stretch it. There we go, got it out. Right, now that should go back in. So let me put it here, put pressure down without damaging the speaker. Can I get that back in? No, it's not wanting to go. I think I'm going to have to use a hammer to give it a few little taps. Forgive me, I can't find my hammer, and I really can't be bothered to spend hours looking for it, so I'm just going to tap it with this. I wonder, have I got a scrap bit of wood? Otherwise I'm going to scratch that up. Let's see if that would do. In fact, I can do it here. You beauty, you've gone back in. Can you see? You've gone back in. Look at that. It's gone back in there. So I'm hoping now that'll be nice and flat. Oh no, I didn't do that. Did I do that? Oh no, hold on a minute. That was here. When did that happen? Phew, it wasn't me. It clearly shows it there when I'm in the kitchen. Right, good news. Well, it's not good news. It's annoying that it's there, but it wasn't me. Right, did you see the way that just went back in there? So that's brilliant. So I'm just going to blow the dust away. And now this should fit in here much. Oh, okay, yeah, it's because the wood's been pushed out, as in it's been bowed. There you go. But you can see now it's wanting to go back in. Maybe when I screw it back in now, it will unbow itself over time because it's not being forced out. You can see I can actually push that in. See? Yeah, okay. Right, let's screw that back in the best we can. Right, so I just need to screw the grill back in and then put all the insulation in and put on the back cover, and then hopefully this will be looking better than it did, but still not as good as when it was posted by the actual seller. But one thing for sure, these heavy items here are not courier proof unless you're going to put them in proper packaging with cardboard boxes around them. So let's now work on the main unit and find out why this FM thing isn't actually working. Right, well, already now aesthetically it's starting to look better. You can see each side now is looking nice. Now, first things first, I mean, did this happen again? In transit? But look at that massive big dip down there on the aluminium casing. I need to be super careful because this is an old device, and I wonder, hold on, 1 second, there's bits of metal here at the side, I don't want to lose them. Is that just glued on? Looks like that's just glued on, how weird. I don't know whether there's anything weird going on, like, you know, with the chassis being live or anything like that, so I want to be careful. Let's look at the size of that capacitor there. Whoa. 1000 microfarad, but it is only 50 volts. That is absolutely huge. Oh, we've got a fuse here. Right, yeah, that doesn't look right here, does it? Look at that massive big bend. So this is aluminium, because I can see it's kind of gone white chalky. Yeah, here, look at that. Very chalky. I think, and this is going to be the ferrite rod that all the tuning things are on, like AM or long wave or, hold on, is FM different? Yeah, the FM aerial's at the back here. So yeah, this must be the short wave, long wave and medium wave. And it looks like that's got a little amount, that's got medium, and that's got lots. So would it be short, medium, long, or short, medium, long? Not sure. I need to somehow try to bend that back up. I wonder, is this why the FM's not working for tuning? So that does this here. You can see that moving. But when we go to FM, what happens then? What happens with FM? Is it down here somewhere? Okay. Have a look here. Can you see the rope isn't doing anything? Yeah, there's a little bit of rope just here. In fact, it's off here as well. It's off everywhere. It's here. It's broken. It's broken. Oh, that's annoying. Where are you supposed to go to? That was that airspace capacitor thing I was talking about just here. Check that out. So when I go to the other ones, look at it turning. Now, isn't that just a beautiful piece of engineering? Look at that. So this would be one lot of plates, this would be another. How nice is that? Right, I don't have any like string. I wonder, do you have to use special string, or could I just use thick cotton thread? Let's try to work out where it's supposed to be anyway. Oh, it's all the way here now. Look, it's fallen down. It's here. It's gone all the way to here, look. So if I give that a little tug, can you see it's gone here? Oh, so it goes around here. I can see it goes all the way down here. Let's see where that comes up. Where do you come up? Oh, that's clever. Look how that works. You know, it's the same button for AM and FM. Look at this. It's like a clutch. This is just lovely. So, right now we're on FM. And you can see that this is moving here, but look, this one's not moving. And now if I go to medium wave, or whatever that one is, long wave, can you see now it's moving? Yeah, and the string here starts moving. And then do one of the others, it's still there. One of the others, so that's short wave, medium wave and long wave, but when I go FM, it moves that to there. How beautiful. Oh, and it's just so simple. It's just a mechanism here. Look, on a spring. Spring isn't even like centered, you know, like as far as engineering is concerned, you think that spring, obviously it works, so who cares, but you think it would be, I don't know, there'd be a little pivot there for it. But yeah, that's how it works. So that's FM. And then this is all the other ones. And you can see it's moving, this here now, because of that string there. Right, okay. Right, so I understand that part of it. I just don't know where the other side of this string goes. I think I'm going to have to take off the whole front. So I undo the 4 grub screws and I take off the volume, the bass, the treble and also the tune-in knob. But yet the front part still doesn't come off. So I'm looking around the place trying to work out what's holding this in, and I come across this little envelope. Word, what is this? No way. Is this going to be schematics? What? Oh my word. Oh my word. I'll struggle to read these, but that is nice. Look how it still looks, paper doesn't feel old, you know, it feels like it's not going to tear. I don't think this has ever been opened. Right, well there we have the schematics. Maybe I'll have to dive into that if we have to start changing capacitors out. In fact, is it going to tell me how to do anything here? Various different fuses. Ah, this goes across to here. This goes across to here with the 3 knobs, which is this side here. So where is the little wheel? Where's that little wheel? Where are you hiding? Ah, I have to undo these little brass things, don't I? Yes. Excellent. There we go. They're the things that's holding it in. Now, are you going to lift off? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Right, that will give me an opportunity to give that a clean. I've got to be gentle though, because obviously it's painted on the inside. Result. Excellent. If that thing's come off, I'll have to just glue that on at the end. Now, where are you going to? Just going to give up its secrets? Ah, this comes off. Hold on now, this comes off as well. Oh, that's made out of metal. It's got a matte paint finish to it. Okay, got to be careful with that. Now, here we go. We can see it's here. Results. So, you are broken. Where are you broken? It goes around there. Around here. Where's the other end of it gone? So you go round here. Broken there. Here. I wonder, could I just tie a knot in that? Okay, so what follows is probably about 45 minutes or maybe even 1 hour of me working trying to get this string back together. So I can't put like a heat shrink or anything on it because it's got to go through too many bends, but I can put a little bit of a knot on. You know, it's this pulley string here is pretty thin, and the pulleys do have a little bit of allowance in there to have something a slight bit bigger. So what I do is I put a little knot on, but then I get a little bit of hot glue and I just kind of smear it on the knot to stop it from undoing, and it appears to want to go around the pulleys okay like that. If I had string, I would just replace the string, but I haven't got string, so I'm trying to make good with what I've got here. When I say string, I'm talking about this special cord here. It's like got a wax on it, so I don't think I'd be able to just use normal thread that you might sew up a hem, for example. Anyway, it's a little bit complicated because it has to be tight enough. If it's too loose, you're not going to turn the tuning wheel, and yet if it's too tight, then it's not going to allow it to slip when you get to the end, because when you get to the end of the travel, it has to be allowed to slip, because you see, you know, somebody could keep on tuning it past the point of no return. So it has to be tight enough to grip, but then loose enough to allow a bit of slippage as well. Long story short, it did take a long time, but I have got it. I have actually ordered up some correct string. You get it from places like eBay. I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 meters long, so quite long. And then you get it in different thicknesses. So I've got one which is 1 millimeter thick and another one which is 0.7, I think it was, of a millimeter thick. And I'm not going to use it on this repair here because I'm quite happy with my knots. But at least I've got the string now to repair other ones in the future. It's not a lot of money. It's about £4. It's just that it's annoying constantly having to wait for parts. That's the reason I try to fix what I've got. But if the string is damaged in one place and snapped, there's a chance that maybe the string's just degraded after all these years, and maybe after a bit of use it might snap elsewhere. But with all my messing, at least I now understand how to do the string, and it means I'll be able to do it again in the future, hopefully quite easy. So I'm just going to show you it working at the end of that 45 minutes-ish period. Okay, now, long wave. You can see that that's working. All the way to there. And all the way back. And FM. Come on. All the way to there. Yes, hallelujah. Oh my word, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But you know what, now that I've done it once, it does make complete sense. I love the fact there that it's designed for you to pop that spring in this bit here. Yeah, and then once you get it done, you can then just pop it off there. So it's not actually that hard. And if you knew the proper knots to do, I think the idea is when you have loads, I didn't have loads of string. The idea is you'd have loads of string and you would probably wrap it around here and again, tighten a knot, maybe wrap it around a couple more times, tighten the knot, and then, yeah, because you can tie it on itself because you're going to have loads left, and then you would chop it off, and then you would do the same with the second one as well. Well, the first one's easy, you just wrap it around, and then it doesn't need any tension because you're putting the tension on the second one. That's a lot easier now that I understand it than when I started. So yeah, I've ended up fast forwarding through loads of that because I'm not going to let you sit through an hour. That's taken me about an hour to do that. But I understand it much more now, and if I have to restring another radio in the future, I'll understand it more because I bet it's the same sort of principle. And I hope I've got these in the right place. It all makes sense because it doesn't look like the wire, the string is likely to pull out. This is kind of the natural path for it. So yeah, really pleased with that. And just so you know, I'm not a Billy BSer. You can see here, purchases, got that one and got that one. Now, if I have to, for example, because remember this has got a terrible hum on it, if I find out that the hum's coming from something like this massive capacitor and I have to buy a new one, then, oh my word, look at the corrosion there. I need to show you that. Then, of course, if the string arrives in time, I'll restring it because now I understand it. I honestly think I could do that I think I'd be able to do that in about 5 to 10 minutes, honestly. Even though it took me an hour that time, it's because I didn't understand it. I understand it now. Look at the corrosion here. Look at that. Look at that corrosion on the fuse. My word. So has water got into this, or has it leaked out of? That's not leaked, is it? What about that cap there? No. It's amazing how it's just sat here. Let's see if the fuse, I bet it's still working. Yeah, it's still working. I wonder, is it actually connecting through? I know the fuse itself is okay, but I wonder, have we got continuity down low where it goes onto the board? Yeah, we have, yeah. So although it looks a mess, I don't think that's the cause of any problems. We've got more fuses here. Got another fuse here, 250 milliamp. That's okay. We need to bend up this bit here, don't we? Let's try to bend this up. This isn't going to be the cause of anything, but it shouldn't be bent down like that. So now, I hope I don't break this this ferrite rod thing. Nearly. And we're sort of bent down here as well. It's had a right whack on the top, isn't it? Well, there we go. That's a lot better, isn't it? That's a lot better. So I wonder, has it just been stored up in an attic somewhere? Because this aluminium's kind of gone slightly... I wonder, would dampness have caused that? Oh, and all down here as well. Look at that. On this thing, it's everywhere. I suppose that's just aluminium breaking down, isn't it? Shall we see if our lights are working? Got a lamp here. Yeah, we have continuity through that one. Yeah, that one's working. And we have another one here. You know, I think all the lights are actually working, which is a bit of a miracle. Now, what on earth are these things with screws sticking out of them? What on earth are all these things here? Look, screws sticking out of various different heights. What are they? Never seen that before. I presume there's some... Oh, there we go. FB ferrite. So there's some MB ferrite. There's some LB ferrite. They're all labelled up. MB. So I suppose there's something to do with tuning, aren't they? Look, when you hit that, it hits that cap. Everything's so incredibly close. Look at that one. If you hit that in, that is so close to shorting against this thing. Right, I'm going to pop this fuse out, give it a clean, and then I think we need to start working out what could be causing this hum. Maybe I should get the frequency app out on my phone. Maybe it's a 50 Hertz hum, in which case then we know it's going to be something to do with mains, don't we? So I pop the fuse out, give it a nice good scrape around the place. I don't know why it's leaked. The caps around here look okay, and it looks to be in a weird position for the caps to leak on because there's no staining on the board. But anyway, I clean the fuse, I'll pop it back in, and then something weird catches my eye. What on earth is this thing? Can you see the blue and the yellow's tapped off to go into here? And it says here positive and negative. That then go to here. What is that? Oh, well, that's AC. Hold on. This is, I think, a bridge rectifier. That's insane, because we have an AC symbol here and an AC symbol just down in here. And then we've got a positive here and a negative here. And weird is that they've done the black as the positive and they've done the red as the negative, which is kind of odd. Does that mean that that capacitor's blown? Can you see there's a big lump thing here? All feels kind of rubbery. I remember I did a Bang Olufsen reel-to-reel player, and after doing so much work to it, it was humming at the end. I meant to do a revisit video on it, but I still haven't got around to doing it. And that would have been a similar age to this. Right now, I think that this thing here might be the thing that's causing the hum, but I'm not quite sure how I would, right now, how I would prove that. I think I need to plug it in and see what... Let's see if I can get a reading on my phone to see what frequency it is. Right, it says capacitors made in England, cap DC, red positive, 1000 microfarad, 50 volts. Right, so the next day now, and I am raring to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the speakers in, I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to use my phone, an app on my phone, to see if I can see what frequency this hum is, because it might give me an idea of what the problem is. Now, I do not copy what you see in these videos. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how safe I feel doing this, but the good news is that we do have a transformer. It's not like a switch mode power supply. So as long as I don't get my fingers anywhere near here, then I think I should be okay working on this cap. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pop the speakers back onto here. No, I'm going to use an external speaker because it would save me having to get the case and stuff over. And then I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to plug it in via one of these little, safety switches here. This is one that I actually fixed up. Probably not the best thing to use, but I believe I made it even more sensitive, not less. Sent over from Gadget UK. In fact, let me plug it in because I haven't used it in a while. I just want to see if it's still going to reset. Yeah, that's working. So now, let me get a speaker, plug it into the back. Then we'll plug it in and see what's see if we can hear the hum through the external speakers, just in case it was something to do with the internal speakers have blown. I don't think so. Right, so just to make it clear, do not copy what you see in my videos. Now, I've got this speaker here, this old thing, but weirdly, on here, I don't get it because it can be plugged in both ways. But then we have something called EKS, which I don't understand, and that can only be plugged in one way. Can you see there's only 2 holes while these ones have 3? I don't really know what's going on. Anyway, there's nothing down here that's going to short. I think we are okay to work on this. We're in. So we should have the voltage coming in there now. Let's turn it on. Right, we heard massive, massive noise. Let's slow it right down, see if the noise gets less. It's less, but it's still very prominent. Right, so we've got an app here called Spectroid. That's the one I'm going to be using. Let's turn it on and see what the hum is. Wow, 199 hertz. Put the volume up. Well, I mean, there's lots of noise, but it's clearly there at 199 hertz. Well, I wasn't expecting that. 199, what does that mean? Let me just try plugging in the other ones here, just in case. 199. Does it work this way around? 199, 199, and that way, 199. Now let's turn it off with me being quiet, and let's see if the 199 disappears in case it's coming from my lights or something else. And gone. I can just see a tiny little bit of noise around the 50 hertz, which is going to be probably my lighting or something. Yeah, it's clearly 199 hertz, isn't it? Let's try a different like long wave or medium wave. 199. I am unplugging this. Okay, I do not know what that means. I'm now unplugged. I don't know what that means. 199 hertz. Well, let me Google it, and maybe people are like, oh yeah, it's the tone control or something like that. So we know obviously it's not the internal speakers, there's something on here causing that noise. Well, after a few minutes look, there's nothing coming up on Google, annoyingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it back in. I want to mess around with the bass and the treble, see if that makes any difference. That makes it louder and quieter. Forget about the hiss, let's go on to another one. There. No, I think that's just is actually changing the bass of it. Right, I can't hear any difference on that one, which is, I think, the treble. That I can. Okay, let's spray up around here just for a moment. I'm unplugged again. Let's get some deoxys, spray all around here, just in case it is something weird going on with the bass. The fact is on everything though, well I suppose bass would be on everything. I was going to say the fact is on everything says it sounds like it's more a power supply thing. I'll tell you what I could do actually. Let me get a screwdriver, let me see if this balance is working. Because if I was to leave it in here and do the balance, maybe then it might get louder or quieter. And that might indicate whether it's coming from one side. Was definitely scratchy, but the hum's always there. Listen to that. Look at the speaker go. Right, as far as I can hear, there's noise all over that. Let's turn this off. I wonder, let's go straight onto the cap. Let's see if there's, see when the caps fail, it might be letting AC through, and maybe what we're hearing is AC. It's just that, why is it 200 hertz? So I'm going to go to volts DC. I'm going to try to probe here carefully with it turned on. Right now, here and here. Right, 26 volts, yeah? Now, let's go on to AC. I just want to see if anything will come through. .4 volts. Is that what's causing the hum? Should we have 4.4 volts AC on that big filter cap? I don't think so. Right, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get my hot air station. And I'm just going to heat up this cap. It's not really going to fit across. I'm just going to heat it up just to see if the hum changes at all. Really, I should be using a hairdryer. I can still hear it. Yeah, so we've got 5 volts of AC on that. 26 volts DC. So my scope should be okay to use. I wonder if I put my scope to DC, will we see any weird ripples, which might indicate the AC is not right. Thing is though, could it be the bridge rectifier or could it be this big cap? I don't really know, do I? Right, so I'm on DC. Let's get the voltage up to What should I get the voltage up to? 5 volts? No, it's going to be 2. Let's put the voltage to 10 volts. Let's see if this shows us anything. Right, that's just barely hanging on there. Now I need to do this so you can see it as well. Okay, I think that'll do. That's not clean, is it? That is not clean. Look at that. So that should be 25 volts DC straight. It's not, is it? It's all over the place. I'm going to show you what 25 volts DC would look like on my bench power supply. Right, I've got my bench power supply here and I've set it to 25 volts. So positive, negative, and there you go. Can you see now? I thought it'd be a flat line, but I don't know how good this scope is. Can you see that there? Let's mess with this. Yeah. Well, you can see it's a lot flatter than it was previously. So I think that proves then, if there's AC on that cap, that's the hum we're hearing. Well, I'm not going to have any of those caps, but maybe I should try to buy one. They're going to be a lot smaller than that nowadays, aren't they? So the path of the electricity that comes into this is as follows. It comes into 40 volts AC and it goes straight into an on and off switch. From the on and off switch it goes via a fuse to a transformer. The transformer is tapped off in 2 directions. One direction to feed the lights that illuminate the front. The other direction goes to the bridge rectifier. The bridge rectifier will turn it into DC, and then because it's AC as it comes through the transformer, and then from the bridge rectifier it goes into that massive filter cap to clean up the signal. After that massive filter cap it goes through another filter cap, and then from that filter cap it goes down to the first transistor, because remember this is a transistor radio. So basically I'm going to change the first 2 caps, but let's take them out of circuit and let's measure them for capacitance and also ESR as well, because when it comes to the big cap it's quite interesting. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip that big cap down just to have a little nosy on the inside. Let's see what capacitance we've got on it. So presume that tiny little red thing there means that that is the positive. It's actually shaking. It's like maracas. Okay, I don't think that's working as a capacitor anymore. Let's see what resistance we've got on it. No, resistance wise it's okay, it just doesn't seem to be doing anything as a capacitor. It's nanofarads. No, that's not right. Okay, now negative this side because of the line, and it's got a positive here. So now let's go across this one. Ah, okay, 478. You know what, I think that cap might be okay. Let's test them both for ESR now. Right, 0.38, and it shouldn't really be any more than 0.09. So you can see that ESR, again, this is acting as a bit of a resistor. So yeah, I don't think that cap is good. Let's try this one. Interestingly, that's not giving me anything at all. I'm wondering if that's even working as a capacitor at all. Is it doing anything? I think we've proved it. I think those two caps are faulty, this one in particular, and I think this one is starting to fail because we still have capacitance, but I don't think the I think that's starting to act more like a resistor. Let me see if I can buy something similar to these. Right, what I've done is I've bought some 1000 microfarad 50 volt Panasonic ones. These are 105 degree ones. And I've bought some 470. I was struggling to find 400 microfarad, but I'm thinking output capacitors should be fine if they're 470. I've been told before that on the output ones it doesn't matter so much, but don't take my word for that. And 50 volt capacitor. I know these ones are 40, it doesn't matter if the voltage is a bit higher. Now these are going to look tiny compared to these ones here, but I presume technology's moved on. I mean, there wasn't an option on eBay, at least anyway, for me to get a big version like this. So I'm hoping this will do the job, but I won't know until they arrive. So they're going to arrive later in the week, and then I'll pop them in and we'll see if the hum goes. If it doesn't, at least I've eliminated that. I mean, I don't understand the 200 hertz thing, but I seen that there was AC on that DC, and how can there be AC on that DC? Unless, of course, my bridge rectifiers failed. It could be the bridge rectifier, but then why aren't... But you think then, if the bridge rectifiers failed, wouldn't the capacitor then take out the AC from that and just allow the DC through? I'm not too sure, but let's get them swapped over. If I need to then buy a bridge rectifier, so be it. Now this video is probably already going to be super long, but I think I'd like to open up this capacitor and see what's happening on the inside. I can hear pressure coming out here now. I just did that and I could feel there was pressure. There was a little bit of tss, it vented a tiny bit. You know where that bulge was? Well, that's interesting. Right, here we go. Now, what we got? What have we got? So, well, you know what? That looks like it's designed to be a vent hole, does it not? That looks like a perfect circle. So I suppose that's, yeah, so instead of coming out the top, it comes out there. There we go. It's got an elastic band around it. So these are going to be all the film layers, and the electrolyte's going to be in between it all, isn't it? It still feels, it does still feel damp. Wow. So is this all conductive here? Might actually be useful to keep that. Yeah. So this is used to insulate in between them, isn't it? And is this where the is this what stores the electrolyte as well? Or is the whole can supposed to be filled with electrolyte? And it's gone to crystal. It's gone to crystal form. Don't know. How easy does this tear? So this is like some kind of... is it just like aluminium foil? Seems to tear a lot easier. And then one will be the positive and one will be the negative. Right, okay. Do you know what? I'm not going to keep any of this. I'll tell you why. I don't actually know what it is, and I don't know how safe it is. So yeah, it's going to be binned. Okay, it's quite a few days later now, and my capacitors have arrived. Now I'm looking at the time and I'm very mindful about how long this video is going on. So basically I do test both the capacitors for the new capacitors for ESR and also capacitance, and they're both testing fine. I went for Panasonic ones, they're 105 degree ones. I didn't cheap out completely. I don't know if these are the best ones for audio, but I thought if I go for a brand they might be slightly better than going for some brand that I've never heard of. So I need to fit them now. I tried to make it look as nice as possible, bearing in mind these are a lot smaller than the ones before, but I tried to bend the original clamps a little bit more around these ones to make it look a little bit more factory. What makes it slightly awkward is on the negative of the first cap, the big cap, there must have been at least 10 wires connected to that. And it was all a little bit, they're just kind of like wrapped up around each other. I tried to spread them out a little bit and wrap them around the actual leg of the capacitor just to even them out, so there wasn't just a big clump of wires just on the one single solder joint. Hopefully that will be a little bit better. I put a little bit of heat shrink around the positive side, just so there's no chance of it shorting against those 10 wires. And also what I did is I covered the negative leg with all the wires attached to it in liquid tape. That's like a rubberized tape. Again, that way then if it was to get knocked, hopefully then it wouldn't short against the chassis. In this instance here, I think that the positive from here is already shorted to the chassis. So it's all a bit of a weird setup, because I was thinking, would it be possible to use a 3-core lead feeding this? Because at the moment there's only 2 cores feeding this and the earth's not doing anything. And I was wondering, would it be possible to earth the chassis? But I can't quite get my head around it because the chassis itself seems to be positive. But this is just my lack of knowledge when it comes to stuff like this. So anyway, the capacitors are now in. Let's go over to the real time now, as I'm about to turn it on to see if there's any more hum. Fingers crossed, it might be quiet. Now, it should work, yes. So I'll tell you what, rather than leaning over it, let's do it there. This here. I think it's still going to be noisy. In. Right, we are ready to plug in. Let's go. Please don't explode. I think I'm okay to go. Right, we're in. I'm going to turn it on. I'm standing back. Well, I need my Guitar Hero. 1 second. Right, I'm stood back. It's this way here now. Ready? Let's put the volume just up a bit. Here goes. Yes! Listen! Listen! There's no hum! Wow! There's no hum. Okay. Brilliant. There's no hum! Right, let's unplug that and put it into this one here. And see if we have sound. Let's see if the bass and treble's doing something. Yeah. That doesn't sound any different, but the bass sounds different. And let's lower down and plug into this side. No way. Right, and let's get the app out and I'll show you that it hasn't got that weird 200 hertz. Right, you ready? Look at that. You see, we haven't got that 200 hertz anymore. Fantastic, that's just the noise from the radio not being tuned in. Right, I am going to unplug it. Let's spray some of this fader into these things here, and also the volume, because it did sound a little bit kind of noisy, didn't it? Okay, I sprayed the deoxit wherever I think I need it. So in the bass, the treble, the volume, the tuner, where different connections meet on the inside, for example, where the speakers plug in, anywhere where I see a connection, and also there's different potentiometers and stuff on the board, I spray them as well. I'm hoping it's not going to cause any harm. I'm not wiggling around the stuff on the board because they're tuned, so I don't think spraying them will make any difference, but still, I don't think it will do any harm either. And then what I have to do is, I thought this was going to be a bigger part of the video because it's quite nice watching things get clean, but the video's too long as it is. I'm just going to whisk through now with a little bit of music and show you a little bit of cleaning, and then at the very end I can hopefully show you it all working.
Bubblegum fights on the 3rd floor. there's something that feels so big, and all that I'm left with's a dry throat. I lose my head when you call me up and ask if I'm doing okay. Was it easier when I was younger? Did the ones I love?
Right, now we're back on the kitchen floor and I'm just doing the final clean-up of the case. We're going to add a little bit of furniture polish to it and just give all the plastics a nice good clean up. While I'm doing that, we can shout out the My Mate Vince Massive. They are the top level supporters over on Patreon. The members this month are kitsdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Ricard Bergland, Soul Reaver 555, the My Mate Vince fan club over on Facebook, and Tobias Hennig. So a massive thanks to each and every one of you. Right, now this beauty is really starting to take shape. Let me show you the final result. All I can say is wow. Look how nice it's come up. The plastics have cleaned really, really well, and also the wood as well is looking nice. I'm really happy with that. I think this is like a tuning meter. It's supposed to move up and down, I think, to let you know when you've got a strong signal. That is looking pretty special. Right, I am going to look at that. Oh my word. It reminds me so much of the Grundig, the big German radio that I did a while back. Same era as well. So obviously this was the fashion at the time. I think that looks lovely. So let me mess around with it, get it connected up, see if I can bodge up anything with banana plugs or something for this aerial at the back. And then, yeah, I'll finish up the video. Right, here it is. I've just connected up the internal aerial. I couldn't find any banana plugs, so I just widened up the two contacts, the two little metal prongs, and shoved them in. And because I've widened them up a little bit, they're connecting the outside of where the banana plugs should go. Anyway, I'm picking up a bit of reception. It helps if I put my hand on it, because then it's using me as the aerial. My house struggles for reception on many different devices, so I'll just give you a quick bit of the radio, and then what I'll do is I'll play out. I've got my phone connected in as basically a tape cassette, you know, this one here. So I'll play out with a little bit of royalty-free music, and that can be my outro. It sounds nice. It doesn't, if I'm honest with you, it doesn't really sound that much different than other devices. It's not suddenly like, oh wow, that sounds so crisp and clean. Maybe all the capacitors do need changing, or maybe I'm expecting too much of something which is coming up on 60 years old. Is it fair to compare it to a Bowers and Wilkins of something from 10 years ago? Probably not. But anyway, considering it is a first transistor radio, or I think the first B&O transistor radio at least, I think it's a charming device. I think it would look nicer on maybe something black or white. Wood on wood kind of swallows it up, but it still looks lovely. I mean, considering it's 60 years old, I think it looks absolutely amazing. And I suppose that's the thing with B&O products. They're kind of timeless in a way. Let me just show you a little bit of radio. The reception's not great, but I'll show you a little bit of radio. So, FM.
With Leonard Bernstein, the lyrics, put them together, this is what you get.
Do you know what? I've got to be careful with, I'll just get done for a copyright strike. Let me just whiz through, see if there's any talking.
There's an element of teamwork maybe that you took into filmmaking.
Here we go, and can you see the stereo light comes up here? I just want to bring the camera down here just to show you this for a second.
And you know, it has some positive.
So you can see right now it's up high, and
negative.
if I go to tune it,
get lost
it will drop down. And as you get to the channel,
the focus of
it will
what's
go up.
important, which is not.
It's good, isn't it?
best and what does it even mean. I guess it also
I like that.
makes certain things difficult because
So that's FM, and you can see that FM's working fine here when I turn it, and everything's nice and smooth and nice and quick. It's not skipping or anything like that. Long wave.
You like and trust and admire that. That makes you feel a certain
I think that's the best I'm going to get on long wave.
People that you admire. Point above Brighton, I'll go above what?
Giggles, where you'll build lifelong.
And I've got it balanced left and right. I put the screw at the back. It does make a difference. If I go one way, it goes all left. Other way, all right. And I'll show you the bass and treble working when I've got my phone plugged in. There you go.
Something big.
And shortwave. I don't think I can get anything on shortwave. Interestingly, I see this needle moving up and down, but I can't seem to really get anything. Something there. No? Listen to that! What on earth is that? It sounds like R2-D2's gone inside it. What on earth? Seriously, what is that? Put that down in the comment section. Right, okay, I'm so happy with it. So basically the casing was damaged because it had been damaged in transit. This string was broken here. That appears to be working just fine now. Also, I've learned a little bit about those strings, so I won't be nervous in the future. And I've bought some strings up as well. And the reason there was a terrible hum on it was because the massive main filter cap was basically putting that hum on it. It was AC mains hum that you heard coming through the speakers. What I want to know is, though, why was it 200 hertz? Why wasn't it 50 hertz? Because here in the UK we have 50 hertz. Is that what the bridge rectifier is doing? Is it chopping it up and then it's coming out as 4 times the signal or something? If you could put that down into the comment section as well, because I wasn't expecting to see 200 hertz. I was expecting to see 50 hertz if it was a mains hum. Anyway, looks wise, I think it is absolutely lovely, and I thoroughly enjoyed working on it. Made to be serviced, and wasn't it lovely having the schematics on the inside? So yeah, all I can say is a beautiful, charming device. Let's play out a little bit of Vintage Dream by Matilda June. So here we go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you all very soon. Let me put it onto this one. Quickly show you the bass and treble. Bass down, bass up, treble down, treble up. Thanks for watching.